What's happening, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indy and Doctor podcast. I'm Indy, he's Doctor, aka Karan, aka Dr. Jazz. Hope everyone's doing good. This episode has been recorded the night before release, so this is going to be a bit of a different one. Proper up-to-date information, literally the night before. So Tuesday night release on Wednesdays. This is the first time I've spoken to Karan in a couple of weeks because he's been busy. He couldn't make it to the podcast I did with Ash about a week ago because you were working, right?
Absolutely. And it's funny, isn't it? It's only one podcast I've missed, but yeah, when I came to sit down here today, I felt like, we haven't done a podcast in a while. So I had the same feeling.
And it's going to be the same thing this weekend, man. You're leaving me again.
What can I say, man?
I feel like it's a theme, Karan. I'm just saying.
I think it's important at this point then just to highlight this is the Indy and Doctor podcast.
That's right.
There's a reason it's not the Doctor and Indy podcast, And, so there we go, my friend. But I've got some live training this weekend, which is once every quarter, and I know because we've spoken about it, not going to affect our listeners, but going into summer months where we're going to be busy on the weekends, you've obviously got wedding planning. You got wedding practice. You just got wedding, man. That's it. You
just got wedding. That's it. Period.
You just got wedding, right? We'll move to kind of midweek recording, which is where I should have a lot more time. But yeah, Tuesday today, and we're going to release tomorrow. That is what I call good turnaround and commitment to our listeners.
Yeah, man. Let's go. What's been happening with you then recently? Tell me and fill me in on things. Watch
out. Been good. It's been. It's been a little bit busy, man. So what have I done recently? So I did a video sort of recording. I did some footage, some scenes for the Supreme Sikh Council. So you're on obviously with Ash. So Ash's brother, Jaskaran, who has the same name as me, as you know from that podcast. He was directing this project, which has come through this Supreme Sikh Council. And it's really to highlight to the UK population that, we're here, we're Sikhs, and these are our values, and, we want to integrate more fully into the British society. And so that I'd done all the video stuff. Now I was asked last week to come and do some audio. So it was a really cool experience. There's a chap, one of his friends, Harpreet, who's a sort of music producer who's worked on the scene for Bhangra, who's worked on the scene for kind of Dharmik, and he's worked on the scene for like Kirtan. So everything. And we went to this guy's house, and at the back, that kind of scene in Straight Outta Compton, and you see like Dr. Dre, and he's got like a studio, like he's got all this, and I walked in, and like everything was soundproofed. It's like it looked like a garden shed, where people have like a pool table, man cave, and I walked in there and I was like, this is legit. I've never seen so many wires, and I'm really into wires. Like I love wires.
No, I hate wires, man. It gives me anxiety seeing too many of them.
That sounds really weird. It's not that I like wires, but I appreciate the value of a hard wire. I think that's what it is.
Wait, hang on. Are you talking about wires as in stuff that goes like connects to a TV?
Yeah. In the sense that obviously, we got 4K content. I'd rather have an Ethernet cable, which is hardwired, than just connecting to Wi-Fi. That shit don't fly with me. Everything needs to be hardwired, but then hide the wires. But anyway, I detract from the point. So I was in the studio and I was like, this is really cool. And, we had the proper, singers have that kind of setup where you're speaking into that kind of mic, and, we had to do so many different takes, and it was a really, really cool experience, having to sort of say these sentences. And they were like, it was really funny. So he was directing, and he'd be like, right, can you say it again, but can you say it with more wisdom?
What do you mean?
And I was like, and he was like, can you give me some wisdom and some, just give me some of that jazz mavi and some wisdom. And I was like, that's really hard. Like, it's just, obviously I have my style, which I sit into, and I was saying that. And then he's like, I'm not really going for that here. You need to pipe it down a little bit, but give me wisdom. And it's really hard in terms of that direction. So then I just say it again, and like, I'm not feeling the wisdom in that one. And I was like, okay.
What do you mean by wisdom?
It was just the delivery. I can't remember the phrases we were saying now. They've obviously been layered over the video, and it would be something like, how long do we have to, bear this, whatever it is, or how long until we are treated fairly? It was, it's very impactful, short sentences, and our Sikh heritage that we can be proud of, and it's really trying to be inspiring. Now, the bits that were meant to be very inspiring were very easy for me because that's my normal sort of style, my powerful speaking style. But the other stuff was a bit more vulnerability or a bit more kind of sage wisdom. That's a different style for me. But it was interesting, man. It was an interesting
Look at you, man,
experience.
broadening horizons and taking us to places. Hi.
Absolutely, my friend. And just before the podcast today, I was on a clubhouse room. I got invited on stage. It was a property podcast, clubhouse, but it was about daily habits. And there was a guy in there, Tej. He's got a podcast called Tej Talks. He's also a young chap, Indy, and I just thought when I came off the clubhouse room, I was like, I'm going to message this guy. We're going to get him on the podcast. He'll be a great guy.
You know what's mad? Yeah, ever since we started doing this podcast stuff, I've noticed loads more people have one as well. And I'm like, raw, I didn't realise that so many people do it until you get into the space.
Absolutely that, man. And there was a science behind that. You know, the whole thing about you buy a red car and then you see a red car everywhere.
Yeah, you see a red car, yeah. Or like, if you're interested in buying a car, you see that model everywhere. Like, even if it was a Tesla, like, I've looked around and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen a Tesla in a while. And just all of a sudden you start seeing them. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's like a confirmation bias you kind of need so in your own subconscious.
And it's always been there. You know, that's the key thing here. It's always been there. And that's part of your brain. It's called the Reticular Activating System.
Yeah.
Or the RAS for short. And it's just your brain shows you what it thinks is important to you. So you notice it. It's always there. So then the key question is, well, you want your brain to notice things that are actually important. So the reprogramming your brain, part of that, and then, you know, understanding your perception is what you want to hone in and zone in on.
The weird thing that got to me was I was driving on the weekend back from London, and I was coming back and I was thinking, I haven't seen a 2021 plate yet, and I was thinking the whole Tesla thing.
Oh,
yeah. And then I saw a 2021 Tesla, and I was like, oh, well, that's convenient, right?
The law of attraction, my friend.
First one, man. It's very weird. So decent. So you've been doing a lot of things to keep busy then, man. Fair play.
Yeah, just a few things, my friend.
You missed out on the Ash podcast because the Ash podcast was hilarious because I'm talking to her and
it was very funny.
If you were there, I would have been like, this guy would have like given me more depth to what she was saying about like how you knew her as well and how it would have like come into effect. But I just found it really insightful to just talk to her and to understand that her and her brother and you are actually close as well. Just a
small
really
world, isn't it?
Really small world, man. It's insane. Did you get that call about on the weekend as well about wanting to go and do a quick film snippet for her?
Which weekend?
This weekend gone on Sunday, because I was meant to do one for Ash as well, but I don't think I could make it. But I told her to contact you. I don't know if she did.
Not on those Sundays, just gone.
Okay.
Clearly they're going for a different... they wanted the Indy, you know, they've had enough of Doctor.
They wanted someone that identified as Sikh, and I was like, talk to Doctor, he wears a burqa. Like...
Yeah, but you're more that kind of... They want that kind of hippie Sikh, innit?
Hippie Sikh. This hippie Sikh can't walk into a Gurdwara, mate. This hippie Sikh can't walk into a Gurdwara, alright? I need to
well, this is the thing. You put your dastar on again, you put your pug on, and you become the old Indy, don't you? So
that's it, done. Nah, old Indy had his hair up top. Yeah, I got mine like centralized in the back of the head.
Oh yeah, you're a Bibi Jura.
A different style, Indy. You know.
So Jura, guys, for those listening, is top knot. So as you know, most Sikh males and ladies for that fact, we tie our hair up. So at school we call that top knot. We call that a Jura. And the reference I was making there is just going back to one of the old episodes when we were on my stag in Lisbon. Indy had a very low sitting Jura.
Yeah, now I found the correct balance, haven't I? The sweet spot. AKA the balding spot, but no one knows it yet. No one can see it except for me.
Oh yeah, you and your special oil that you put in your hair to stop the hair loss.
I've you know, there's oils they don't work, man. Honestly.
Yeah, you know what? I love that you've come on a live podcast and you've just declared to the world. I just love that you're like,
yeah, I don't care.
They just don't work, you know.
Mate, it happens, man. It happens. I will happily admit that I've tried all those different oils and nothing helped, but it's fine.
But the conviction you had, I remember you telling me, you're like, yeah, you need to do this, and you had this like routine every day, and then you sleep with your hair.
And then I've noticed over time it doesn't work, mate.
Yeah, that's it, man.
It's all genetic, man. You can change it a little bit, but I guess I'll come back to you in a year, and then you can see how little hair I have left. Yeah, cool. And that's when I'll probably start wearing the podcast again, you know.
Yeah, maybe. Does your dad have a problem with hair loss, or has he got?
Oh my days! No, you know what? I need to talk to you about dad, but mum hasn't. So I noticed the other day when mum was doing her hair up, I had the same hair as her. So I was like, even how my hair gets a little bit frizzy, Mum has the same thing. And I was like, oh, I get my hair from you, Mum. Like, it's definitely the same. And I was like, but hang on, your dad went bald.
Yeah, but I've seen your mum, not for a while, but she's got a good set of hair.
Yeah, but it's not your mum's hair it's not your mum's hair you keep genetically. It's your mum's dad or something. Right. So if your mum's dad has balding, then apparently that's genetic.
Oh,
so that falls onto me.
You sound like you're falling into one of those myths again.
I don't know, man. I hope not.
Don't have the watermelon with the water. Can't have too much water.
You can tell me if it's true because you're a doctor, innit? So tell me if it's fact or not.
That line, like, well, people just look at me for kind of reassurance. It actually,
yeah, I look at him like Karan knows. He knows. You know everything, like, every medical condition, all the problems, everything. Boss, tell me all.
I remember when we were in New York, so 2015 again. We were in New Jersey. We travelled to New York after the comp.
Was this when Harnick was taken ill?
No, Harnick was better at this point. He was ill during the competition. This specific memory is, I remember we were walking kind of through New York, obviously got big buildings, there's a lot of scaffolding up, and I think we walked under somewhere and there was like some sort of weird fan, like industrial fan or something working, and I think somebody asked a question. I think Dalip asked a question, and basically I just said some bullshit, but I said it really
conviction.
Complete conviction and confidence, and he just believed it. And then I can remember Qatar was there and America there, and they were just like, "It's a doctor in it. If he says it,
it's true. If we said it, he doesn't believe it. But if you say it, it's like, doctor, yeah.
He knows it. And it actually reminds me of I had a teacher in GCSE geography, Mr. Law, Major Law, right? Major Law.
Major? Why is he not called Mr. Law?
He was Mr. Law as well, but in our school we had the CCF, the
Army
Cadet Force. Yeah. So he was in the Army section, I was in the Army section, so he was Major Law as well. And I remember he gave me some really good advice. He said, Jazz, when you get to your exam, it's obviously all marked by independent people, it's not us marking. I said, yes. And he said, listen, if you drop some knowledge, right, and it sounds reasonable, and there's no real way of disproving it, or nobody would go to that level of detail, and he goes, at your level, no one's going to do that at GCSE A level, then just drop it, as long as it sounds reasonable and believable.
Yeah.
I was like, that is some great advice. Now, he wasn't saying chat shit, he was just saying, you've got your knowledge base, you stretch it a little bit, hold it with conviction. I wouldn't say it's the kind of like fake it till you make it, like when you come into the real world, but just, don't count yourself out. And I mean, the story I just told you is complete bullshit, so that wasn't even like near the truth. But I just wanted to see how far you could actually go with that.
I think there is some truth to that, though.
Experiment.
There is truth to that, because if you sit and think about teachers at school when they mark your stuff, and obviously they're really harsh, because they're like, oh, I know you can do more, but then when it's sent off to an exam and it comes back and you find it get a better result, I'm like, were you being overly harsh, or were you just were you not marking it correctly because maybe you didn't like the person, or maybe you had some sort of bias against them? And I always think that, especially with kids nowadays that are having to, I don't even know how it's working for this year, but I think they have to sit some form of exams to get a grade of some sort.
But it's all in-house, isn't it? It's based on the
and it's all going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So they're sitting mocks that are technically not mocks, still going to give them the actual grade. And I'm just like, imagine being at the will of your teacher that's just been a knob to you, like, damn.
But on the other side, all my teachers like me.
Oh, but on the other side, yeah, if you've got a really good teacher and they like you, then they'll give you a massive leniency.
That's it. Bale, A-star.
It's not A-star now, mate. It's like grade 1 to 9, whatever the hell it is, man. It's so confusing. They couldn't just keep it normal. They have to make it more and more difficult, don't they, to understand?
So tell me about your top, man. I'm fascinated by your top, and I just want to say to all the listeners out there, just before coming on the podcast, I just said to Indy, I said, look, when you buy clothes, kapre means clothes in Punjabi. Going forward, buy me in my size also, okay? Whatever kapre you have, jithe vi tu jawe on holiday, you will buy me clothes now. That is.
But I thought that you said, "Oh, I'm frugal, Indy. I'm frugal. I don't like buying things. Oh, I only wear what Shindy gives me." Huh?
Here's the frugality. You're buying it, and then you're gifting it to me.
I'm gifting it to you. I knew you were gonna go there. Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll accept that as even as to me coming on the podcast.
I will happily do that. Just do not wear the same kapre as me on the same day. All right.
although for the podcast, I am thinking. I know we had a discussion about getting some personalized mugs.
Yeah,
Guys,
which is happening. It's actually happening.
It's happening. But what I want to put out to listeners is, guys, what is our catchphrase? So we've got some ideas, and I want to one of the one that sticks out for me very early on is Siddhi Gal, right? Straight talk. And I know a good friend Gopi is going to correct us, on about Punjabi and
Grammatical guy.
Yeah, it's not the right meaning, but straight talk and Siddhi Gal. But are there any other catchphrases you guys have heard us say that's kind of associated with who we are and kind of our brand? It'd be really cool. So let's get something going. And
yeah, man, shall
the
we?
best one, we will ship out a mug to you.
Yeah, definitely.
If you get selected, if it's your catchphrase that we end up printing, we will send it to you.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and tops, Indy. I think tops are a good idea. Even the one you've got now, and I really like that kind of white sweatshirt look.
You know what? This looks good now, right? But it's only because I've got two lights coming on me, and also, I only put this on for the purpose of the podcast, or if I'm going somewhere. The second I get there, I take it off. I don't want no stains on it, because if you get stains on white, it's so difficult to wash out, especially on something
one of those guys.
That's a jumper. I'm really, really worried about my white clothing. Yeah.
It's interesting because for medical excellence team, Medex, we have white tops, right? And on the day 2 when we are packing away the arms and stuff with the fake blood.
Oh, the fake blood.
So Para makes a special point, like he'll take it off or wear like a pinny. Whereas, like touch wood, 5 years in the game, I've been doing it.
You've had no issues.
Yeah, man. But I get your point. Are you a white training guy as well? Do you wear white trainers?
You know what? I've never bought. Actually, no, that isn't true. Okay, fine. I have bought white trainers, but then I've started noticing now I buy them and then I don't wear them because I'm too scared to get them dirty.
So they sit in the box. Okay. I don't
sit in the box, or I wear them in the one sunny day it is in the year, and I make a point of wearing them, and that's it.
Okay.
And
then it's done its bit, and then you will save them.
It served its purpose, but now what I'm trying to do is those really special occasion trainers. I only buy them. And I won't get them in white if I can. That way, if I do want to wear it on a normal day, I don't feel bad about it because you can get the stains off it.
I love it, man. This
There's
is
so much science to it, honestly.
This is the developed world. We feel guilty about wearing white trainers. Like this is
man. I do. I actually do. I feel really bad about it.
Get anxiety about putting them on. Yeah,
it's a real thing. Yeah.
I won't get it because there are certain people I know. Like Shindy's one of them, and my coach Dino, he's one of them as well. They love white trainers. Like they'll buy. Like Dino said to me, like, okay, I could have bought one pair, but bought
but they'll never look as good. The thing is, right, they will never look as good as the day you got them out the box. That's the only qualm I have with white trainers. Therefore, I can't buy them with the hope that they're going to stay like that. I have to make an acceptance that at some point they're going to start diminishing a little bit. Even if it's like 90%, it's still like you can tell. And I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of hurts me. But if it's like a pair of black trainers, you can't really tell. You can spill shit on it. You can get it. You can get water on it, etc. No one's gonna know.
Absolutely, man. I'm a big proponent of trainers. When I look back at what I used to wear in hospital,
proponent or opponent?
No, proponent. I love trainers, but I haven't always. Huh?
You don't love trainers.
No, I'll tell you. In the context of not with smart clothes. I mean, in the context of work. But it's interesting. If you look at what doctors wear, right, or healthcare staff wear. There's a big thing about Skechers. Loads of people in healthcare.
Why do you guys love Skechers so much?
Well, I don't, but personally, apparently it's that they're the most comfortable shoes in the world or something. Or that sounds like good marketing, to be honest. But I haven't personally tried them. And if there's anybody listening who wants to, donate or sponsor a pair for me to try, Dr. Jazz to give you some shout outs, I'd be more than happy to do that.
We'll at Skechers with this clip on Instagram. Don't worry, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Sponsor, please.
But I came out and I thought, okay, a doctor needs to dress really smart. So I'd have like smart shoes. And you look at me, he's like, oh, this guy's going to like a pre-wedding party, right? That kind of standard.
Yeah.
And then I was like, my legs really hurt, man. Like this isn't comfortable. And then I went through a phase where I had Toms, which are completely flat. And I thought I was like a cool guy, right? So
doesn't that hurt your feet?
Toms on. Yeah, absolutely, man. But I was like, I'm a cool guy, right? I'm Dr. Jazz. I wasn't Dr. Jazz back then. I don't know who I was back then.
But you'd always want to be addressed as doctor. So like, say you were the guy, and I've seen you do this, right? If you have a form, you won't put Mr. or Mrs. or etc. You'll put Doctor, and I'm like, why do you do that?
Absolutely.
You said it took me so many years to earn that accolade. I'm gonna write it down everywhere. I was like, all right, fair enough.
And then the irony now is like in friend circles, you just refer to me as Doctor. Like you just forget the rest of the name, don't you? So
that's I feel like you planned for that, Karan.
What?
You've been angling for us to call you doctor for years, just so you
No,
can get a little bit more
no.
squeeze out of it. Out of the meaning behind the name.
Absolutely not. I mean, the Bhangra circle is very irrelevant, isn't it? That I'm a doctor.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so I had a really vibrant pair of Toms, right? So it's not like your standard navy blue ones. I had like
They were the grey ones, weren't they?
No, the standard pair with the navy blue or the light blue, whatever they were, right? I had a maroon pair, really vibrant. So you got me with blue chinos and these maroon Toms, not comfortable. And then one day I just started wearing trainers, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm doing 8-12 hour shifts. This is so comfortable. Initially, I was like, it looks really weird with chinos, trainers and chinos, and it does look weird. But I was like, who cares, man?
But aren't you wearing scrubs?
Yeah, as in I do hybrid though. I don't do scrub bottoms because they have no pockets, not very functional. So I do chino bottoms, I do scrub top. And that gives me versatility because I've got pockets, but I've still got the kind of structure and integrity of the chino, right? Because the bottoms are a bit too loose if you wear scrubs. And then the trainers, it looks a bit weird, but whatever, man. Everyone knows who Dr. Jazz is. So
it's functional, man. Good. It doesn't matter.
Functional, man.
If you're saving someone's life, they're not going to check your shoes, are you? Let's be honest.
Mark Zuckerberg, man. Okay, that's it. He turns up with his uniform on. I was like, he can do it.
Uniform being a hoodie, yeah?
Yeah, man. As soon as that's permissible in hospitals, I'll be wearing that.
Take note, he didn't turn up to his Senate hearing and that though, did he? He wore the full suit, everything.
Yeah, okay.
The full outfit there, mate. Yeah. He didn't want to get his balls handed to him. Right? That
Senate hearing was so funny. I remember one question. Like, it's just... It highlighted, like, the difference in generations. Like, I think the guy was like, Mr. Zuckerberg, so, like, Facebook is free. Like, you don't pay for it as a user, so how do you make money? And he was like, we run ad center. And he was like, oh. And I was like, I remember watching that, I was like,
the way he drank water. He drank water, it was like this. For those of you that can't see, I'm sorry. But he's like... And it was just like the most robotic shit ever. I was like, bro, I can tell that you're not from this world. Like, seriously, no one drinks water.
Oh, you're one of those. You think he's a robot?
Yeah, definitely. He must have some robot characteristics about him in order to drink water like that. No one drinks water like that.
Yeah, and not eye blinking, yeah?
So check this out. Dad went to India, right? And he went to India for a funeral really quickly. And I've never seen such a quick turnaround in a ticket ever. And I thought it would take him longer. But the run through to get this done, is horrible because he had the phone call that someone has passed away, so he has to go. Fine. Okay. Next morning, he gets up, doesn't tell me anything, yeah? Leaves the house, comes back and says, I bought a ticket. I was like, hang on, don't you have to like fill out all these forms that you have to get an exemption? He's like, it's fine, sorted.
Sorted. What's the moral of the story?
Don't ever question your dad.
Your dad gets shit done, man. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, you trying to do this podcast for 3 years and trying to do this and this, right? Trying to wear a t-shirt. God. Your dad just,
He got it done, but then he had to have this COVID certificate done as well, saying he had a test. Do you know how expensive they are?
No, go on. This is the fit to fly test.
They're like 200-300 quid.
And where did you get it from? Somewhere private?
I think he had to have it done privately because it was such a quick turnaround because his ticket was the next day, right? But I'm like, man, those guys are scamming, I swear.
There's a need.
Scamming.
There's a need.
There is a need, yeah. So he ran and he's gone. And I was like, that was so quick, Dad. Like, you can't even do that in a normal time if you wanted to.
Do you know when you said he bought a ticket? Like, you make it sound like he went to like a travel agent and bought it.
He did.
Oh, so it's not like he didn't go on the internet. He just went to a physical person.
He went to a travel agent. Okay, you and I both know that the Leicester community is very well connected, yeah? You know someone who knows someone who can get you something.
You know someone who knows someone who works for Southall Travel. That's what you mean.
There is also that, right? And it so happens that my Boaz's daughter's sister-in-law works at a travel agent and got it all sorted.
What's Boa?
Boa is my dad's sister.
Just
so basically, my dad's niece's sister-in-law.
Yeah. So in Punjabi culture, guys, we don't really have like a generic auntie and uncle word. So every relation
we make it more difficult, don't we? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man. If you had to, just sit there, draw the family trees out, and then you'll understand the complexity and how each relationship has its own terminology. Right. So you found someone, yeah?
So Dad found someone and had that done, and I'm thinking, you haven't even asked us. It's like, you didn't say, oh yeah, it's fine. Am I okay to go? He's like, I'm going. Yeah. Catch you, man, soon. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Listen. All right. So your dad's a proper jat, man. That's...
He is, man.
He's just like...
Oh, man. He called me the other day. I think it was, what time? About 8 o'clock our time. I'm like, Dad, it's 3 a.m. in India. And I could tell that he had a couple.
Wait. 3 a.m. India, yeah?
In India. And he called me at 8 p.m. our time. I was like, Dad, I could tell you had a couple. I was like, you enjoying yourself? He's like, no. I'm really busy. I'm like, no, you're not. Don't lie to me. The funeral was last week, okay?
Right.
You're now living the dream. You're having a good time, okay? Right. Let's not try it. You're using this as a holiday. I said, your ticket date says you're coming back on this date in the middle of April. I know you're not. You're going to extend it.
Middle of April? Yo, he's there for some time, huh?
Yeah. And with his ticket, it's one of those tickets where, in India, I don't think people can understand how silly it is. You can literally go to the front desk and just get your ticket changed and you can go straight away if you want to. It's one of those tickets. And you could just keep changing the date as many times as you want. It's like unlimited.
Right. So what do you think that's going to be the rest of the
I don't know, bro. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you when he's coming back. He's like, I'll be back
for the wedding.
I'll be back soon. Yeah. Speaking of the wedding, we have to get that moved as well. So that's done. Mid-September now. So yeah, so go. Happy days with that, man. That was that was hard as well. Just with all the changes and everything happening, and Dad going to India. I was like, oh, Dad, cheers, man. Just I'll sort it out. Yeah, thank you. He's like, yeah.
How's it feel? How's it feel to have to shoulder all that responsibility?
Oh, it's long, man. I can't even lie to you. It's long.
Yeah.
Normally, even the little things, like Dad can be like, oh, I'll just call Sanjay's family and I'll just get it sorted now. But it's like, no, I'll call him. Then I've got to call him to check with Dad if it's okay. But then his phone internet connection is dodgy, so I can't hear him or he doesn't pick up. And I'm like, this is not effective communication. But I've got to work with what I've got. Lessons learned from that podcast with Ash is you can't criticize the way people act in India. You just got to embrace it. But my qualm is Dad's still in England and he knows how it works. So you do things quickly and on time. But no. He's in India doing whatever he wants, taking the full India timeline between events. Literally.
He's having a good time.
Oh, man. Having the best time of his life, honestly.
And where are you guys from? Like, where in India?
I wish I knew, man. I mean, obviously in Punjab, somewhere in Jalandhar.
Oh, okay, fine. So you guys are like...
Somewhere in there. He's got his own house somewhere.
Right.
I don't know any of the names.
Have you been to...
I've been to the place where my grandfather's land was given to him. So he fought in the war. He was given land as a result of it after Second World War.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So as a result of him doing that, he came back. The way he came back was he was sent back early because he broke his leg playing football.
Wait. Proper gangster story, man. Right.
So he went to serve in the war, right?
Right. Okay. Second World War.
He's playing football.
Yeah.
And he broke his leg playing football. So they sent him home.
With his... All right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they sent him home. And then as a result of him serving India and serving the country and stuff, he was given land. And that land has now been split between my dad and his two brothers. So I've seen the land that Dad owns. Right. And I've seen the house where my grandfather was brought up in and stuff, and my dad was brought up in. And I've seen the house that Dad now has as well in India to himself whenever he goes there, because he goes there so frequently. It just made sense for him to have his own house. So yeah.
And how about you? So this is an interesting tangent point where, okay, you're married at some point. You're gonna have kids. You know what is going to be their experience of India, Punjab? You know, your history.
I'm probably not going to take him, to be honest, mate.
Ever?
Doubt it. No.
Right.
Really doubt it. I'm not. I don't like going to India. If I've got this massive list of places that I want to go to, and I've got them in my phone, places that I want to go to in pretty much priority order. Yeah, India is not in the top 50 because I've been there so many times. And I've seen so many other things. I want to go to other places. What
about you?
I've been to India. Okay, I've been to India twice. I think twice
in your whole life.
Twice in my whole life.
Right.
That's enough. I'm like, I don't need to go there again now. Yeah.
So how do you connect your kids with Punjabi culture?
That's the difficulty, and that's going to be really hard. So I'm going to have to figure that out in a different way, shape, or means. Whether that's going to Punjabi school, whether that's still keeping in touch with obviously brown friends that have brown kids as well. I mean, it's going to be a watered down version of the upbringing that we had, because our parents are first generation, right? We're second gen, so we're more adaptive to maybe if they want to marry somebody that's not Sikh, we'll probably be more open to it compared to our parents. That's one little aspect that's massively different. So the culture and stuff, I'm probably going to have to rely on my parents to sort of get some of that instilled in them as well. I'll do my best, but it's going to be difficult, isn't it?
We can send our kids to Harvey for education.
No, Harvey, yeah. Harvey was the guest.
Punjabi Sikh studies. Yeah.
Harvey was one of our guests about, how many weeks ago now? About 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Really, really knowledgeable
Insightful.
on the Bhangra scene and knowledgeable on the
Punjabi
history
culture,
of India and
Sikh
Punjabi
history.
culture. Yeah, he's fantastic. So I'll definitely send them to him for sure, if he's still.
Well, listen.
things,
Why
which I hope
don't
he
you
will.
set up? We can set up like a system. Yeah. When I'm going to India, you can give your kids to me. When you go to India, or when I force you to go to India,
When
I'll
you
send my
force me
kids
to
with
go to
you.
India, why?
Yeah.
Why
Listen,
would you want to take my
go
kid?
and you can go and meet your friend, the Mungi, the clothes guy.
Oh my god, man!
So guys, Mungi is this really famous dude.
No, Ramesh.
Ramesh is this really famous. Oh, Mungi
Mungi is
fashion,
the
isn't
other
it?
guy.
Yeah,
No,
Mungi's the other guy.
Mungi's the
Mungi and
other guy.
Ramesh are two guys. When we were in the Bhangra scene, right, and just to give you some context here, the Bhangra scene wasn't massive in the UK, but we all kind of knew each other. And when we were getting our outfits, what we call vardiyan, uniforms, and our props, so like our khunde, which are kind of our long sticks, and our saps, which I don't know what they'd be called in English, but they're the things that make a lot of noise at the start of our routines. We'd get it all from the same guy, like in India. A great business for him.
Massive monopoly. Massive monopoly.
Yeah. And even like the America guys, the Canadian guys, they all use the same
they all get it from him. Yeah.
two people. So I think at some point, we should pay homage to this guy and just go and see him and be like,
I went there. I saw him.
oh, you did?
I saw him when I went last time to India. I went in 2017. I was like, I went there and I was like, let me just go see his shop, because
Wait, you went in 2017. For what reason did you go to India?
I had to go to India because I had to get some child bonds out in my name that were opened up when I was really, really young, and they wouldn't let my parents take the money out because they're like, how do we know that this is a real person? So I had to go there with like my passport and show that I exist.
I am Indy.
Yeah, I am Indy. I exist. I am a legitimate child. So yeah, can you please give us some money now? So I went for that reason, and Ramesh is in the middle of the place where everybody goes to get their suits. You know where Frontier is?
Oh yeah, all the ladies talk about Frontiers. That's
literally
suit,
right
suit
in
shop,
that little square of all
He
those
exists.
suit shops. He's in the middle of there.
There you go,
down
man.
some back
He
alley,
knows.
down some back alley, right? So I got there and I looked at it, and when you walk in, like Nkile were our team. We were one of the first ones to get our outfits made by him, right? But they had outfits made with like the emblem of Nkile on the back. Like it looks really bad now, right? I can say that openly to Harpal because he says I don't ever want to wear those outfits again. Harpal's the founder of our team, and so is Honik. They both say we never want to wear those outfits again. But when you walk in, you go up the stairs to his thing, and he's got this massive A1 blown up picture on the wall of those guys in those outfits. The four of them, Bobby. And
the original.
Harpal, Honik, the original four. This big blown up picture of him there, just standing there with their outfits on, and I was like, wow, he really loves you guys.
You should have said to him, man, that 2016 photo. Put this up there now, okay? This is the photo.
No, because we didn't get our outfits made by him. We had our outfits made by Mungi, the other guy.
Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah, Harpal he got pissed off with him. He said, no, I don't like his outfits. He said the quality was really crap. Right, and in all fairness, he was giving us really bad quality outfits, so we went to Mungi instead.
There you go, guys. A little bit of a history lesson, but only two suppliers in the world for everything that's needed in the whole
pretty much. Scene. Now there's other guys that keep on atting us on the Nkile Instagram saying like, share, subscribe, Baji, please.
And we're like,
please share,
anymore.
We know dance, we do all out of it. I'm like, oh god.
So Punjabi culture then. So yeah, that'll be an interesting question for us, because I know growing up, there's a big focus on, so different to you. You've been twice. I've been 29 times to India.
29.
Yeah, nearly every year. Well, yeah, and nearly every year apart from 1 year.
Are you chatting it? You've been nearly every year.
Yeah, since birth, man. Like less than 1 year old, I was in India.
But that's because you're. Am I correct in thinking your mum has a massive base in India?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a reason for that. It's a family.
Yeah.
So I got my nani, I got my mama, I got my masi masa.
These are
obviously
all
my-
extended family members. So Nani's grandma, Masi
Yep.
Mustard is. Ooh, Masi Mustard is
So
your
mum's sister.
Mum, sister, and brother.
Yeah, mum's sister and mum's sister's husband. That's Masud, and Mama
Oh yeah.
is your mum's brother.
Mama, yeah.
So this is all my kind of my mum's side, which is what we call collectively the Nanake. So the Nanake are your mum's side, and then obviously you got a little bit of my dad's family, but they're mainly all here. They're also there, but I have a very different experience. And growing up, there was a big focus on speaking Punjabi, and credit to my family and a bit of Punjabi school, but mainly being in India and being spoken to in Punjabi and seeing it, you kind of just pick it up. And the value of that now is absolutely huge because I'm around a lot of patients where I have to speak Urdu or Punjabi, or I can understand Hindi, so that's good from that point of view. But even conversing with my own Dadi, who's my dad's mum, so my granny, on the other side, we speak fluent Punjabi and we can have fun, and even at Christmas. So you know the game Reticular.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we play in Punjabi, so she can join in as well.
Yeah.
So I remember we were trying to describe like a shower, like okay, don't worry, I won't do it on the podcast because that's like
It's not going to make sense.
loads and loads of Punjabi, but it was really interesting. It really stretches your brain about okay, how would you say it if you had to say it in Punjabi?
And you still have to obey by the exclusions on the list.
Yeah. So you can't say certain words, you can't make them rhyme. You can do a bit of acting as well, but that's quite difficult.
I can imagine that. Actually, that must be really funny. Imagine doing that in Punjabi. Oh wow.
Yeah. Another funny thing we do just on that Punjabi thing is sometimes when you're on Netflix, do this. Everyone, I implore everybody at home to do this. It's really funny.
I'm not doing this dubbing subtitles change. No man.
Yeah, just change the subtitles, man. The
Don't
audio.
do
No,
it,
it's
man.
not subtitles. It's the audio. Change the audio to like Hindi or Arabic or Punjabi, and it's just so funny. Like you can have the most intense scene, and then it gets dubbed, and it's just like it just makes you laugh.
Mainly because their voices go really high pitched and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any
It doesn't
sense.
match at all. Oh man, it's so funny.
Wait, hang on. Are you one of those people that, when you watch Netflix, like Spanish shows, say Money Heist or anything else,
do I dub
or
it?
Narcos, do you dub it or do you watch it in
No,
Spanish?
original. Yeah, original.
Thank
with
God.
subtitles.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
People that dub it, you are all psychopaths. Okay, if you dub it, you're ruining the whole experience, the whole linguistics, the beauty of it. You're just butchering it, mate. It's not the same.
I have to say that when you told me about Lupin or Lupin,
In French,
we did watch it. We did watch it in English. We didn't watch it in French. Yeah, it kind of just happened. Like it was already
I'm so
preset.
ashamed of you.
Yeah, but and it's not as good. It's really not as good.
It's not. It doesn't feel the same,
Yeah.
especially when the whole thing is based around a French thief and a story of a Frenchman being a thief.
You know when it really hit me about this dubbing thing, it was only when I got older. I used to watch a lot of Bruce Lee. And,
Yeah.
Right, so Bruce Lee stuff actually is shot in, I think it's in Cantonese rather than Mandarin. But growing up, I think the default was English to listen to. And I for a long time, I actually thought that was Bruce's voice.
No, I thought
What I
so
was
as well,
listening to.
yeah.
But it's not, like, it's just some random people. And then I kind of find out, and I felt like cheated. And I was like, oh, that's not Bruce's voice. And, you hear actual Bruce Lee's voice. So then I went back and then watched it in kind of original. And the same with Ip Man. So I'm a big martial arts fan, by the way, guys.
I haven't watched any of the films ever since I was a kid.
Ip Man.
No, I've
Bruce
seen
Lee.
Ip Man. Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
I haven't seen ever since I was a kid. I need to watch them all again.
Oh, let's...
Maybe we can
when
do that
COVID
at yours, man.
Let's do it.
Whenever
let's do it-
everything's
let's do a
sorted, I need
marathon.
to come around and watch it. That'd be sick.
I'd love to do Bruce Lee ones, and yeah,
Have you got it in HD or 720, or do you need it downloaded?
that's a good question. I think they're all DVDs because they were just like when you buy
Oh man, you got one of
box-
the DVDs. You're an original
box
guy.
set.
Fair play.
box sets, man. Like, yeah, I had this thing. When I went through school, I think it was like year 10, 11. I went through this phase where I was just obsessed with that HMV and Savvy, and the day the
Were you
film
the
was
guy?
released, I would be there and I'd buy the film, and not just like the normal. I'd get like the special tin version, which has got like a special disc. I remember the film I have in mind is American Gangster. The day it came out, I left at lunchtime, walked from my school to town to buy this special edition American Gangster. Got back to the school, and then my teacher said, "Can I borrow it?" So I gave it to him, so I didn't even get to watch it.
Wow.
Like a
Why
month,
did you tell
yeah.
your teacher you bought it? Just keep it to yourself.
Huh?
Why did you tell your teacher you bought it? Just keep it to yourself.
Oh, he was a good... I was going to say good friend, but he was a good teacher. He's a friend.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he was like, "Jazz, can I borrow it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that was
You're
it. He
too
used to
nice,
let
man.
me-
I'd have been like, mate,
he used
I
to-
just
well,
bought this.
he used to let
I
me
haven't even
films as well.
taken taken the
Yeah.
wrapping off it yet, and you want to open this? Really?
Yeah, there you go. So about kindness, Indy. One thing I said to I was with a doctor this morning, one of my junior doctors, and I said, "What is the definition of a miracle?" I'll ask you, Indy, and everyone listening here. Just have a think in your head. We'll give you like 5 seconds while Indy's thinking as well. He's like, going on Google trying to find it on his computer.
My hands are here,
What is
man. Right?
That's it. You show everyone your hands. That's right. What is the definition of a miracle, in your opinion?
Well, I'm a bit skewed because I had to learn about miracles as part of philosophy in school. Jesus doing the miracles and all that stuff.
Big man, look at you studying philosophy, yeah?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay,
So,
go on.
miracles are sort of an unexplained event. It's an event that can't be explained how it happened. It's something extraordinary. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty much it.
I'd say that's the classical definition. Mine's a bit more kind of, let's say, modern thinking definition. But to me, a miracle is a random act of kindness. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
But
And I'm
why
not
should
gonna say-
kindness be? Why should an act of kindness be a miracle?
Because I think people put the whole miracle thing on such a pedestal, right? Whereas I think when people do extraordinary things and they kind of come from a good place, a good intention, to me, that is a miracle, right? And I'm not going to take credit for that. I mean, I got that from, what's that film? It's the film where,
£7.
no, it's a funny film. It's a comedy. When oh man, this is
Describe it to me. Articulate it to me. Let's go.
Right, articulate. Right, okay. Jim Carrey's in there. He plays a news anchor, and
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty. Thank you. I was going to say the guy from Shawshank, whose name is evading me now, plays God.
I would not have put that together. Just you mean Morgan Freeman? How dare
Morgan
you?
Freeman.
How dare
that's-
you forget Morgan Freeman's name?
That's it.
My
that's it.
God.
The greatness of Morgan Freeman, right?
The greatness of him so much you forgot. Right?
I had mind blank, man, mind blank. It's happened an hour ago, man. I was on Clubhouse. I was trying to quote something, and you know, in Clubhouse, everyone's listening to you. And then I was like, oh no, I can't remember the quote. And then I went back and tried to get the quote. I still couldn't remember it. And someone else had to jump in and tell me the quote, and I was just like, oh,
That's the
died
worst,
today.
isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Someone had to save you from drowning. Which
But yeah, it's from that film. He says, a miracle is a random act of kindness. I can't remember why we went into this, but there was a reason why we went here.
Miracles. You just asked, what's a miracle act of kindness?
There was a reason why.
Because you gave your school teacher a DVD.
Oh, that's kind of why.
You gave him the American Gangster DVD, and then I said I should come to yours and watch
Bruce
Lee.
Yeah, not that I'm equating giving the DVD to him as a miracle, but it was just a point that there's the ability to do lots of nice things in the world, and we should, when the opportunity presents itself, be forthcoming.
What's the first thing that you're going to do, Karan, when lockdown ends? Well, okay. When the next stage of lockdown ends.
Just remind me, what is allowed in the next?
Ooh, well.
I know there's beer gardens, but that doesn't really affect me.
Have you heard the beer gardens are sold out for the next 6 months?
Huh?
Siddigal, right?
Right, go on.
These beer gardens. There's so many beer gardens that are sold out for the next few months, and I asked people at work this.
Sold out as in they're booked out.
As in they're booked out, right? And I'm like, but you can just get pissed up in your garden at home.
Yeah. The beer.
I don't get it, and they're like, oh no, it tastes better coming out the tap. I'm like, you guys sound like mad alcoholics still, but all right, cool.
Yeah, I guess it's part of that. It's more just being around other people and being in the vibe, but first thing I'm gonna do, I haven't really thought. I really miss going to the cinema, if I'm honest.
I couldn't do it. I really wanted to go and watch that film.
What, Tenet?
That came out, huh?
Tenet.
Yeah, I really wanted to watch Tenet when it came out, but I was like,
Right.
I don't want to go to a cinema and sit with a mask on. Like,
Yeah, but this is what I mean. It's not gonna. The masking is not gonna be there. So when cinema is normal, I love going for
when the cinema's normal, I am up for that, man.
Midweek cinema is like my thing, man. We talked about bubble baths, right? We talked about lots about bubble baths, but cheeky midweek cinema, when you go for a Mackey's and you use the 99 Savers menu, that's frugality, man.
I can't jump into that midweek vibe of going to do that. My evenings are always packed, man.
With?
just normally each day in the week when things were normal, God knows how many years ago that was now, but
Right.
when everything was okay-ish, every evening I had something planned, like gym, bouldering, going to see someone, having dinner with someone. Like, it was always busy.
Can I ask you a question? You know, you guys call it bouldering. What's the difference between bouldering and climbing?
Bouldering's indoor stuff, I think, and climbing is you can do indoor and outdoor.
Oh, okay. There's not like a special meaning.
It's not like I'm climbing a rock or something. No.
Yeah, like a boulder.
You got to get up that boulder.
We go and we see the rock, and then we get on top
Basically,
of the rock, and,
in order to make
boulder.
it past the entrance at the front door, you must climb this boulder, and then you are qualified to come into the gym.
You're a boulderer. You're a boulderer.
That's
then,
it.
yeah?
You must be a boulderer. Yes.
On that point, how's your PT going? So, guys, Indy has officially signed up with my PT, Jamie. He also came on the podcast as well, so shout out to Jamie. And actually, shout out to my other friend, Aaron, who came to see me at one of my speeches last year in Birmingham. He's also signed up to Jamie, so Jamie is absolutely rocking at the moment.
I want commission, man. That's what I'm saying. I want commission.
You want commission? Ah, well, you're giving me commissions. There you go. I'm getting some free Nando's, and there's lots of other perks in the pipeline.
He also got Shindy and your sister on it as well.
I got Shindy and my sister on it. So I got you.
You know what?
Shindy, my sister, Aaron.
You're trying to pull this now. I think they did it because they listened to the podcast. That's what I think. I think the podcast convinced them. It convinced them to join, and they were like, "Oh, okay, I believe it now because he talked the talk."
Maybe.
That's it. There you go.
Either way, you guys are all on it now. So tell me, what's your experience been so far?
He's good, man. He is good.
Yeah.
The only thing that I miss is, I think I timed it well to go with him now because things are starting to open up, right?
Right.
And because things are going to open up, it's going to be easier to do more compound movements with him. That's one thing I've struggled to do because I have a lot of hypermobility in my body, so I tend to get injured a lot. So normally,
for everybody listening, hypermobility is again one of Indy's made-up conditions, and just
shut up, man. It's something I've noticed. Okay, all right. Basically, I'm too bendy in it. Yeah. So.
Say listeners.
So basically,
say that again, right, guys? You know what? This is gonna make a great snippet for the real man. Say it again.
In my low back, right? Yeah. I can.
No, not that bit. Say the other bit, man.
No, I'm not saying that other bit.
I am too bendy. Bendy Indy. That's your new name now. Bendy Indy.
So basically, right? I used to get injured a lot with like training on compound movements because I couldn't get my low back into the right position. It would always flex a little bit or extend too much. So I would always strain a muscle of some sort doing it. So I need a PT to sort of just help me get that alignment back in place and really figure out what's the right spot for me.
Do you know where that's come from?
Here we go.
Yeah. This is going to be a snippet as well. This is your gym tar playing days.
Oh, here we go. Shut up, man.
Right, so guys, the gym tar is a very heavy instrument, right? Normally...
It's not that heavy.
A normal person can wield it with two hands. But Indy, with one hand, with one finger... does things that no other person can do. Get on Google.
With one, I can do things with one finger that no one else can do. Karan,
on the gym tar.
Okay, fine. All right.
Google this instrument, guys. It is a cool instrument, right? It's I don't know how you spell it in English, but CHINTA.
Yeah.
Maybe a H at the end. I don't know. But look it up. Right. So you got hypermobility. You want to get compounds in. Are you physically going to be in the gym when the gyms are open?
Yeah, man. I'm down straight away.
Right, that's fine. So we can get some sessions in back to back, maybe, and
yeah,
cool, man.
So he's
tell me about your numbers. Then
I think. Hang on, all right. The only thing that I think I'm grateful for is that I joined now and not earlier because I would have got bored of doing the same workouts that we're doing at the moment. That's one thing that he sort of said. He said, "Look,
you mean what I do?
We're kind of stuck with doing We're kind of stuck with just doing the same stuff at the moment because there's such limited equipment you have." I'm like, that's fine, I get it. But if I did this like a few months ago, I would have dropped out a long time ago saying, I'm not feeling it. I need to do different things all the time. Otherwise, I get really bored.
You feel how... Remember we had that, I don't know, I think it's lockdown 2 or whatever. Yeah. There was an interim period and then the world was going to open, or whatever, lockdown opened up again, I think December. So when me and Jamie were doing PT, but like in the park, in the garden, that kind of stuff, it was okay because we knew the end point. Because like you don't mind doing it for a little bit because you know you're going to be back in normality, and that is a bit cool, and you're doing a bit something different, doing chin-ups on trees and things, and like it's really quirky. But then what happened is then we had this long, the April announcements just come. Then we had this period of when are we coming out of lockdown? We didn't know.
Yeah.
And like you said, literally he comes and we do bench, we do row, we do shoulder press, and we do biceps. That's literally what we do heavy weight, and we do 3 to 4 sets. That's all we've been doing. But like you, I am looking forward to being back in the gym. But what I did say to him is, look, if anything happens again, right, whatever type of thing, I know now that actually with basic equipment, you can make gains. My bench from September last year to now has gone up 20 to 25 kilograms in that period.
Nice.
Right? And that's a little bit in the gym, but mostly outdoor. So definitely gains have been made. How are your, what's your, I know your lats are really strong. What's your weakest muscle? Let's put it that way.
My low back. Straight
Okay,
up.
so rows are difficult for you.
Holding a position in a row for a long time is difficult for me because I start edging up and up and up and up a little bit. I need to really just pull myself into it and just hold myself there and just carry on with it.
How are your shoulders?
Fine. The only thing I've got is really bad wrist. I've got a bad wrist injury from last year when lockdown first started. I didn't have any equipment, so I was doing a lot of press ups. But then keeping my wrist in that position or in a position to like keep your wrist pushed out, started getting really bad wrist pain. It's not really healed since.
Have you got the wrist strap?
No, it isn't. It isn't straps. It's just like I'm using a bag, like a rucksack, to do a shoulder press. But I have to hold it in like a certain position. Yeah. So I have to hold it in like a certain position, so I don't do this. Like I don't let my wrists cock. I need to keep them straight and then do it, and it's fine.
It's really, really important, man. Like I remember when I was with Jamie, I injured my left shoulder. We were doing dumbbells for free, and there's a thing where when they get really heavy, so I was getting to the point where it's starting to get like quite heavy for me. You could do low reps, whatever. And when I'd come down, guys, you're listening to this, obviously you can't see this. My shoulder would move backwards like that, and I was kind of like that and that. But now we've moved to, again, we don't have high dumbbell weights. We've gone to barbell, and that spreads it more. Now, actually, I'm actually stronger now on shoulders than I ever was on dumbbell. So that's good, man. So I'm happy you got a session tomorrow morning, 6:30. You're going to be in the gym. Guys, this is commitment, right? And what I would say is it's all about accountability. Jamie's going to be there. Indy turns up, he trains, he gets his session in. So if you're interested, give us a message and we will make an introduction for Jamie. He's doing virtual PT. He's going to be in gyms as well soon. But he is the guy.
Yeah, man. Proper nice guy. But the thing I'm looking forward to the most is gyms, but also just seeing people like face to face again, which we're allowed to do. That's a big thing. So we even might be able to film a podcast in person, potentially.
And if you look at it, I mean, I think the very first podcast was live without any equipment, like basic iPhone. You didn't tell me we were recording. We just kind of went into it, did sneak attack on me.
But it worked. It worked. Now look at this episode. I don't even know what it is. Oh no!
So many countless episodes.
We're in double figures now, mate. Triple comes soon,
baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But seeing people, man. I want to be in the garden. Even today, I left for work, right? And I'd stayed a little bit later today to help some doctors for an exam. And I was walking with one of the doctors back to my car, and I was like, it's not dark. The sun is like still out. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I can't wait for the world to
It's
open
nice,
up,
isn't
right?
it? Yeah.
I want to be in the garden. I want to be rambling.
The only issue I have with it is I was sitting here thinking, I remember this good feeling last year. And I was like, hang on. I remember that the weather was starting to get better this time last year, and we just got into lockdown, and we're like, it's only going to be 2-3 weeks. Yay.
Right.
And now look, right? So I'm very wary of the feeling of like, it's getting nicer and the weather's nicer. But I'm like, I don't want to be at home all summer again. Like, I want to go out and do shit.
Absolutely. I guess for me, like, okay, other people are important, but as long as I can go to parks, as long as I can be in wildlife and go rambling and just do that kind of stuff, I'm happy, man. Like,
yeah, but also, Karan, the getaways, man, like going away for like a weekend, all those things, they're legit, man. You look forward to those.
I was thinking about our Lake District trip the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know why it popped in my head. It just popped in my head, and I was very aware, and I really sat into that feeling I had when.
We nailed it, bro. With the timing on that, we absolutely nailed it.
The timing was awesome. It was just, I just felt so happy. I was really, really happy. Like, we made some awesome memories, and we were just so hard to articulate at the moment, like the specific moments I'm trying to think of. But, the Go Ape, right, and the Segway. and we're supposed to have like a 1 hour session, and with the last group, and we end up having like 3 hours, and it's awesome. And then the food was great on that trip, and
Don't forget Monopoly.
Quiet Time. Remember Quiet Time?
I remember Quiet Time, but don't forget Monopoly as well.
Right.
This
Indy
guy,
playing Monopoly. Who
this
said
guy
to me,
is
wait.
savage at Monopoly.
What was your line?
Okay.
Indy's line. This could be on the mug. Actually, this could be on the mug. But we'd have to tell the story in full detail. We won't do it today. But
so basically,
essentially, Indy said, "I need to pay my bills and expenses." That was the line, wasn't it? Was that the line?
Yeah.
Best line of the whole trip, man.
You know why? Because this guy, Goran's a very... This is a pure reflection on him, right? He is a guy who will just buy everything and deal with it later. So literally, on Monopoly, he'll keep buying, and I'm like, how are you affording all this? Like, you're getting some sneak transactions, and he does this thing where he stacks all his money in a pile and you can't see.
Don't tell people the strategy as well, man.
No, I'm telling him the strategy.
Public podcast. They don't need to know the strategy, yeah?
He's sitting there, and I'm like, how is he affording all this? And then I'm sitting here cash rich, but not very asset rich, right? Some asset force. I'm going around the board, and I'm like, I'm about to cry, honestly, right? And you had the what's it called? You had the last utility I needed to complete the set. Yeah. I was saying to you, I think you landed on like one of my things, and I said to you, I'll waive this $3 fee if you give me that utility. And you didn't even consider it, but I thought I was so slick, being like, yeah, just I'll waive the $3 thing. You just give me the card, innit, right? And you were like, no.
It's all about the off-board deals.
Off-board
deals. If you give me this property tomorrow, I will teach you how to swim so you don't drown. Right? That's a good deal. That's a really good deal.
Oh man! And they say that those games are meant to take forever. We were up till like 2 a.m. playing it, man. We started at 12.
We started late, man. But we had the fire, blazing. It was warm. We just watched Matthew McConaughey's film. We had the Thai green curry.
Yeah, Lincoln.
Like it was
Lincoln, just really good.
It was just awesome, man. Like and I remember when we went for that walk, and it was the wettest day of the year, and I think there was a bit where we were really high up, and I just looked down and I was like, I wouldn't rather be anywhere else. It was just
it was nice, man.
It was a perfect one. So yeah, staycations. Absolutely, staycations. Let's get back on it.
Staycations are nice, man. I mean, it'll be nice to do that and to go abroad as well and not have to wear a mask on a flight. Yeah. I don't think I want to get on a flight and wear a mask the whole time, man. It doesn't feel like great. Especially with me and you with our beards, man. You hate it, I hate it. When you take it off and your hair's everywhere, it's in your mouth.
Shaping for the beard. And the thing is, it's a bit like a greenhouse effect. You get like moisture, you're breathing out, hits the mask, goes back on your beard. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like I've just been washing my beard, it's all oily again. It's just, it's not good, man. It's not good at all.
If only I could get the big visor thing, the Riot Shield one. The one you can put on your face. The Daft Punk one. Give it to me, please. Let's go.
That's
sort me out.
I'll give you that. If the next time we play Monopoly, I don't have to pay any rent. Right?
Off the board deal ahead of time, yeah.
Off the board deal, man. Listen, you want the vaccine, you want the test.
You want the vaccine? I can sort you out.
I can see how I can move things, There's always a...
You know what's funny? The amount of people that messaged me after saying, how did you get the vaccine? I said, all you got to do is contact your local pharmacy if they're vaccinating and just be on the list. And then they'll call you at the end of the day if they have any spare. That's it. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
But it's not public knowledge to know that. So I get why people maybe thought that I'd taken it from someone else when I shouldn't have.
Taken it, you just got into the line, push some old person over.
You
don't need this, your time's over.
You about to die, right? I need to be healthy.
I'll take the vaccine.
Give to me now. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I need to ask you though, Karan. You must have seen the interview of the flipping century, right?
Yeah, we haven't talked about this. I watched it live, man. We had popcorn.
You had popcorn.
We had drinks. Yeah, my sister like, she got all the snacks and everything, and she was like,
you know what? I think I'm the only person that didn't watch it live because I read everything from the night before, and I was like, what's the point? Like, I read it all the next day, so I was like, I don't need to watch it. And everybody that watched it was like outraged, and I was like, I'm not surprised by any of this. I knew the royal family was 100% racist. Like, why is everyone so shocked by all this?
Yeah, I think the obviously the royal family under a lot of public scrutiny. The bits which I found really interesting. The one thing that Harry said, when he talked about this invisible veil, I really liked that, and he basically talked about.
What did he say? I didn't hear that bit.
So he essentially said that look, the media, and most people don't know this, but there is a day, much like in the White House, where media will have some sort of evening or dinner or that kind of party in Buckingham Palace, right? So they actually
Mm.
invited in. And he basically said, look, and you've seen what happened to the Russian royal family who were in the revolution, they were executed and everything. If the public turn on the royal family, right, and they're not the kind of no longer the loved royals, and people don't want to see the weddings and the balcony and all that other kind of stuff, then he goes, we're finished. And he said, there's this invisible rule where he was saying that if we allow access to the media and allow them to do their things, then they portray us in a sort of okay light. Because all it takes is just a rhetoric of end to the royals, taxpayers' money, why do we need them? And then the game's over. So I thought
that's what I think every day. I think that every day.
You're one of those
I'm like, why do we need
hate.
them? We're
Right.
paying for them to live. We give them money. What are they giving to us? Oh, tourism. No, they're not. You can't even go into Buckingham Palace. So, yeah, tourism. It's not real. Like it's all a flipping fake performance. Honestly, and you can see now behind the scenes they're not as squeaky bum clean as everyone thinks they are.
Well, again, that's not the bit I focused on, the squeaky bum clean. Yes, there's that stuff. I actually look at the lack of freedom, right? And the one thing going into the interview was there's a difference about being rich and famous and being royal and famous. Two different things. Like, Meghan Markle said, I got there, handed in my driving license, my passport, my car keys.
Yeah.
You just give them, like, as if you're going to prison, right? And she's like, you can't leave. Like, you can't go places you want to go. Like, everything is accounted for. So, although you're famous, like, what is it that you're doing with it? And she says, what you see is just what obviously been created. The handshakes, the smiles, the traveling. It's all, like you said, a performance, actors. But behind closed doors, like the bit he said where, they had to go to a royal, I think it's Albert Hall for a performance. 10 minutes before, she's saying she wants to end her life.
Yeah.
Right? And
But you have to go to keep up appearances. You still have to go and keep appearances, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was really sad to see, but it highlights a point which I say now, I've said again and again and again. It doesn't matter who you are, everybody's on the mental health spectrum, right? And the same problems we have in that family, all families can relate to, man. Like, there's a bit where, Oprah was saying, were you told this? And then Meghan Markle was like, no, they told Harry. And then he told me. And it was just like, so you got in-laws, don't speak to your daughter-in-law. Tell them Munda, you tell your wife, right? You get her in line. And I was like, this is like, oh my God, like all families can relate to this kind of setup. And it's just to see, look, even at that level, same shit is happening, right? I found that interesting. But B, the lack of actual freedom. Where's the freedom? What is that? Is that lifestyle you want? And Harry, like, I think they showed his house, and he's got like his dog and his kid, or second child on the way, and his chickens, and they just, they just want to do their own thing. And not be on the grid and just sort of live a normalish life.
Yeah, I think Paul Chowdhury said it as well. He said, like, it just sounds like an Indian family. And I was like, yeah, it is. Like, you were living at home, disgruntled with your in-laws, you weren't happy and you moved out. That's pretty much what it is to be in an Indian family. And I was like, yeah, it is. And even the stuff about, like, darkness of your kid's skin, I was like, Indian families ask that too. Yeah. Is the kid going to be light or dark? Like, that definitely happens. It's not a new thing, but everyone's actually shocked. Like, I can't believe they said that, and I was like, no, I completely predicted that there's some definitely some racism in there. Like, Prince Philip isn't exactly a knight in shining armor. He's the reason why they don't give him many public appearances is because he says some outlandish shit.
Yeah, right? He hits a couple of people and his
exactly. And I'm like, well, that's no surprise, right? So. It's everyone's starting to see how difficult it can be, but I didn't like how Piers Morgan just took the piss the next day and said, I don't believe her. And I was like, listen, mate, I think you're overstepping the boundary a little bit there. You can't really say that. It's like freedom of speech. I'm like, yeah, it's freedom of speech. I get that. But then mental health isn't something that can be measured. You can't measure if someone was feeling that way. If they say they are, you take it as word.
Unless you have like a record of the boy who cried wolf, but that's not the case, and there's no real the level of detail she's speaking to. And he had this whole thing about the point of contention about this Archie, their son, was going to have a royal title, right? It would be a prince, and he kept banging on about that, and he's like, no, she's wrong, and I was like, okay, fine, so she might be wrong about that one thing, but the other bits, like you said, the mental health. They're being ostracized. They're not being allowed to get help in. If you're the royal family, if you're royal and you can't get help, right? With all that
That's
access.
the worst thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like how he just made her seem like it was just all like she did this negative thing to the royal family and it was all her fault. And I'm like, I don't think it works like that, man. There's probably some give and take. There's probably some things that both sides did wrong. And you're never going to find out the thing that really happened. There's always 3 sides to every story. He said, she said, and the truth. No one ever gets the third one. But you sort of make your own interpretation, don't you? And that's what's happened here. And I reckon he quit because... He was probably quit because he was probably forced to make an apology the next day. And he gave sort of a half-hearted one the day after. But then he didn't give a proper one. And I feel like he just said, yeah, screw this. I'm going to leave and act like I left on my terms. When I reckon he was told, yeah, you're sacked, mate. I don't think... Either you apologise or you get sacked. That's what I think he was probably told.
Absolutely. And now he's in a position where I think I was reading that he's... in like some sort of bidding war for a new position, this £10 million contract. Like he's not suffering, right? So he's leveraging
he's not
himself
short of
into that
options
position.
ever. Like,
Yeah, and always remember, any attention, good or bad attention, is a good thing.
Yeah,
right.
Of course it is.
President Donald Trump, great example of this. With his tweets and things. So make some noise, get some attention, and then the money follows the attention.
Saw this episode of Black Mirror on the weekend as well that's quite related to cancel culture. I think it was the one about the bees. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. But it's an episode about cancel culture and like essentially the concept is on social media, if you use this certain hashtag and it gets enough votes towards one person at the end of the day, that person dies. And they just die. Okay. That's it. It's just consequences for their actions of what they've done is a bad thing. And I was like, that shows how far cancel culture can really go. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But in this case, he was wrong. I think he said, oh, it's cancel culture, etc. I'm like, no, you chose to leave. You can't say you were cancelled, you left. If you were cancelled, fine, I get it. But you chose to leave, bro. Like, you can't just claim it's people being woke and pushing you over the edge when it wasn't like that. So I found that episode, and I watched a lot of episodes on Black Mirror because it shows you how far our society can go if things are left unchecked.
What is Black Mirror?
Black Mirror is on Netflix. It's basically a concept show where it says, what if this fucked up scenario became a reality? And you watch it and it's very crude. Like, it's very like, nah, that's not going to happen. Surely that's not going to happen. Oh my God, they're actually playing out that scenario in the episode. That's what happens.
So is it a documentary style or is it like...
They're all standalone episodes. It's on Netflix.
Right.
They're all standalone, so you can just watch any episode out of any of them. They're not interlinked. They're all completely separate.
Okay, so it's not series.
You can just pick it. Yeah. They are series, so they'll put out like 4 or 5 episodes. They're 5 completely random episodes with 5 random concepts, and a lot of it is based around social media, based around cancel culture, based around what if this fucked up thing happened, what if you take someone hostage and they do this, etc. Like, they're all really, really fucked, really, and it makes you think about things in a different light. That's why I like watching it. Don't watch it prior to going to sleep because you have a bad sleep. But yeah, because your mind is just like a fucking mess at the end of it. But it makes you think that how far our world can go if things aren't put in place. And weirdly enough, a couple of the episodes have already happened in reality.
Right. In history.
And it's like, whoa, hang on, that's not cool. So one of them's about like likes on social media, where your like rating and your rating in society gets you leverage to like take out a loan, get a house, etc. That's happening at the moment. I think it's in China.
Right.
And that's actually in place. And I'm like, hang on, this is meant to be like a spoof show. It's not meant to be real. But it's actually happened. You're like, oh shit, so these are all actual scenarios that can happen one day. Damn.
That's pretty scary, man. I have to check it out. I do like...
You gotta check it out, man. Just don't watch it late at night. Watch it when the sun's still up, yeah? There you go.
Yeah, buddy.
Don't when you're having sleepless nights.
Happy vibes, man.
Happy vibes, yeah. Cool. That's it, bro. I think we're good there, to be fair. I think it's
Cool.
Late? Yeah, it's late. We should go to sleep.
Absolutely.
Good chat, man. I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah.
Any shout-outs?
I haven't got any to give this week. No, everything's been really good. Ash is a really great guest, so thank you for coming on, Ash. And everybody really enjoyed having her on as a guest, including a few of my old friends from uni. So cheers for the feedback, guys. And Garin, you got anything to add?
No, just guys, thank you for getting to this point in the episode. Thanks for listening. Thank you for our loyal supporters and fans. drop us a message. Come on, speak to us. You know, give us a share, give us a like, give us a follow.
Give us the mugs. Give us the mug quota.
Yes. What is our strap line? What is our tagline? What T-shirt do you want to wear? See Indy wearing next time. You know, if you want a live demonstration of him playing the chimta, just put it out there. Put it into the universe, and I will make sure. I will make sure it happens. And you know, it's a special thing. Pre-wedding podcast, which we will shoot. Indy will be doing some live hot yoga. His idol, Bikram, right? Let's see if we can get Bikram on the show, right? And we'll get you in the black chuddies and him in the black chuddies.
You're such a bastard,
honestly. Yeah. Love and peace to you all.
Chat to you soon.
And quickly, guys, a week this Friday, we're going to be doing a live Clubhouse room. I'm going to be on there. Our good friend Sanveer, so hilarious, the YouTube sensation. He's going to be on there. Indy's going to be on there. And we're going to be discussing more about mindset and adding value to our listeners on there. We had a great Instagram live that we were on a couple of weeks ago.
Can I get some ground rules in place?
Go on.
You're not allowed to recycle any of the stuff you said before.
A window ever recycle. Listen,
no,
you've got to live authentically. Okay, you've got to live authentically.
You can be authentic. All right, okay, fine. If you do it, I'm going to start finishing your sentences for you on the Clubhouse.
That would be good. Let's play a game.
Genuinely,
bingo,
I'm actually going to start doing that. All right.
Bingo.
I don't know if it's going to take away from the show, but come on, man.
Let's go for it. I challenge you.
Cool. All right, chat to you in a bit, man. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. Take care.